Harry wants both worlds. He wants to be the best of both worlds. He wants to be a celebrity or independent of the royal family, and I'm no longer part of this family. But he also wants to be called HRH and all the benefits that flow from that. And, I think he's entitled to leave the royal family if he wants to. Nobody should be imprisoned by that if they don't want to be there. But he can't then hang on to the bits he wants and abandon the bits he doesn't want. It doesn't work that way.
Well, you talk about leaving the royal family, and one development that has happened this week is Donald Trump talking about whether he would ever deport Harry and Meghan back to the UK.
Yeah.
So I think he said, he basically said that he wouldn't kick Harry out, because Harry has a visa issue going at the moment through court, which we all know about, that whether he lied on his visa application.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump has said, I will not deport Harry. He's safe here because he has enough problems already dealing with his terrible wife.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just the kind of way you've been in politics. This is, you know what Donald Trump, this is just the way that he kind of speaks sometimes.
Yeah.
But
well, Donald Trump is. Anyone who's supporting him is wonderful, and anyone who supports the Democrats is terrible. I mean, that's and she was obviously associated with the Democrats and Kamala Harris, and that's why he's saying that.
Yeah. So we understand that Trump doesn't want to, but one of the main reasons is because he has a very warm friendship with Charles and William. He's obviously, we know that Donald Trump is a big fan of the royal family. He's spoken of his respect for the late Queen Elizabeth II. And over the years, we're told that Charles and Trump have struck up a little bit of a friendship, and Donald Trump wouldn't want to do anything to really annoy his new friend. Ironically, it's Charles and William that are helping Harry stay in California.
That's what I was about to say, the irony of the situation. But when you really game it out, imagine if, it always seems somewhat unlikely, but given, that Trump often does do things that seem unlikely or unpredictable, he may well have taken action on this. But if you game out what that actually would have looked like, Meghan would have to have come back to, assuming, the rumours that had circulated were untrue, which I believe they are, she would have to have moved back to the UK with him. The two of them would have had to live here with their kids, knowing that he's estranged from William and he's got a very tense relationship with his father. And also, to your poll, people don't know what category they fall into. England's not that big when it comes to tensions within the royal family. Can you imagine how uncomfortable that would be as an ongoing situation, having these non-royal, quasi-royals sort of in the background for the rest of the royal family? So you can imagine that that Trump, I don't know if it's ever actually been raised in these terms in his private conversations with the royals, but you can imagine that it has been advised to him that it would cause a lot of problems for the King and William if he deported Harry.
Well, they're safe for now. They're America's problem, OK, not the UK's problem right now. Norman, we haven't brought you on just to talk about, the ins and outs of Meghan and Harry and what's going on in California. You are a former Home Office minister in the UK government. And so I just want to ask you, we have recently found, we recently received an answer back from the Home Office on exactly how much money British taxpayers have spent on the Home Office defending itself against Prince Harry's case, where he wants to force the Home Office and the courts to return his 24-hour, round-the-clock armed security that was taken away during Megxit. And the figure that has got, this court case has been rumbling on for 2 or 3 years. Harry's gone into court, he's lost, he's appealed, he's moved to another court. It's actually now reached £680,000. You are always on the royals when it comes to money. Do you think this is money well spent by the government?
Well, obviously not, in terms of if we lose that money, that's money that should be spent on something else. It's an enormous sum of money. And actually, it's a ridiculous court case, in my view, because, if Harry's worried about his security, I don't understand that, because if you look at Britain, I think I'm right in saying there were 29 people killed by guns last year in the UK. In America, it's about 40-odd thousand. I mean, it's an enormous figure. So logically, he should be more worried about his security and safety in the US than he is in the UK. And I hope he will lose this case, because there's a judgment to be made about security provision. And they will make judgments to the Home Office and the police as to what needs to be done in particular cases. And of course, if he needs security, if there's a threat identified, he should have it, like anybody else should have it. But I'm not aware of any such threat in the UK to Harry. It's just ludicrous. And the trouble is, some of the royal family like to have security for reasons of stature to impress others rather than because he actually needed themselves. And I think that's what's happening here. So I hope he loses the case. And when he loses the case, I hope very much the judge will award costs against Harry, and the money the Home Office has spent will be returned to the taxpayer.
Right, thanks, guys. So we've just got time for our quick-fire questions. This is to both of you. We may well have addressed one or two of them through the show, so let's see how we get on. What would be Prince Andrew's most suitable occupation?
Oh, Governor General of South Georgia, which is a rock we own down in Antarctica.
We could send him there, surely.
Send him there, yeah.
Yeah. How big is the property there? Is it a 30?
Oh, it's a rock. There's nothing there. There's a lot of penguins, but nothing much else. I should say, I've got time to say this. I did actually suggest many years ago that when I was having a banter with Peter Mandelson, that he ought to be sent to be Governor General of the Falkland Islands. And I had a furious letter from the Falkland Islands Council the following week saying we don't want him.
Oh.
Yeah, you probably got thousands of penguins that are now screaming saying we do not want Prince Andrew coming to South Georgia.
Just, I think back of house is important. I think we're looking at a back of house role, sort of nothing forward facing, probably not near computers, not out there meeting anyone, sort of maybe some folder sorting in the palace, maybe helping out the PAs there. I don't know. Again, just a focus on sort of staying out of it. And not making contacts anywhere is probably the main key features.
I'm so glad neither of you said like sewing mailbags in a prison or anything like that.
Do they sew mailbags? No, I don't want to do that.
Or slopping out in a jail somewhere. So thank you guys for avoiding that answer, but I said it. Right, secondly, which member of the royal family, past or present, would make the best comic character?
Oh, I want to see Diana as Wonder Woman, because it's Diana Prince is the actual name of Wonder Woman. But I think that would have been a really cool cartoon character, royal crossover.
Okay.
I think Prince Philip, actually, he always spoke his mind and was a rather colourful character.
He could be a superhero, couldn't he? Like
He
a
could be
Marvel
quite a lot of
superhero.
things. Yes,
Yeah.
he could be Mr. Honest.
Mr. Honest. And finally, we touched on Meghan's Instagram account. So which royal, past or present, do you wish had an Instagram account?
I want to see, I would have wanted to see Princess Margaret on Instagram. Have you read the itinerary of her day? It was having these long lunches and having a martini and having long baths and basically just having socialite parties. I want to see that on Instagram. I think that's the ultimate royal influencer sort of space.
I think that would be perfect. She's kind of born in the wrong generation. If she was now, that would just be epic.
It would have been so good.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll vote for Princess Di.
For what reason?
So we can find out what happened between her and Charles.
Ooh. Yeah, imagine, yeah, if once they got divorced, if she went rogue on Instagram.
And whether Camilla was part of the same Instagram party.
We're getting back into the WhatsApp group thing now, aren't we?
See who's following and unfollowing, yeah.
Camilla has unfollowed Princess Diana on Instagram. I'm going to go further back and probably say Henry VIII.
No, are you?
Are we allowed to do that? I'm going to go back to
I
ancient
think I tried to
history.
do an Anne Boleyn a few weeks back on one of these. I think that era, I would love to see that era online, the
social
Tudor
media.
era.
Wouldn't that be on parchment rather than Instagram in those days?
The ultimate influences.
Brilliant. Well, thanks, guys. We've been through a lot, so I really appreciate you coming on, and you're both welcome back. Well, Bronte, you're always back, but Norman, you're always welcome back. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, well, thanks so much for watching. If you like the show, please leave a comment below because we always read them, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode.